Welcome to the RadioU Podcast. Coming up, Paddington's horrible secrets may soon be revealed.
Also, we got GTA Fortnite before GTA 6.
All that and more on the way next.
Okay, good day. Welcome to the Great White North.
Oh, congratulations are in order. To our neighbors to the north, my Canadian brethren, who won the Four Nations Face-Off Championship last night over the United States. It had to be in overtime, didn't it, Allie?
I mean, it felt like the fitting end to the Four Nations Face-Off to have such a, I felt like the entire game, and I know we talked about this yesterday, the intensity level was just on another level. And so it really did feel like the only way to end a game like that would be overtime.
Yeah, and that's always so tough in hockey because it's so different. There's no other sport. Occasionally baseball can end like this, where it's a bottom of the ninth and you score to win. But hockey is just over in an instant.
Yep.
When it gets to overtime, which is the beauty of it.
It's beautiful, but also heartbreaking. But I mean, you can't really blame Canada. And obviously, in my opinion, I don't know what the U.S. was doing.
leaving the best player in the game wide open. I think it mattered that the United States was shorthanded. And not only shorthanded, but one of their best players, Matthew Tkachuk, was in the lineup and got injured enough early on that he really wasn't able to participate.
Yep.
And so that you're down one of your top players. Additionally, you're also, that makes you shorthanded, which means the rest of your guys are going to get more tired and whatever. And this is a game that takes a lot out of you.
Yep.
And it was an up and down game too. A lot of times in hockey, like in the regular season or whatever, teams play different styles, and you get it you don't get a game like you got last night.
No.
Where it's scoring chance at one end, zip right down the ice, other end, you get a scoring chance or two, and it just kept going.
Yep.
Sometimes you just kind of, it settles in, everybody's calm, but that's not what happened last night.
Not at all.
Nor should it, but I mean, man, an exciting game.
Such an exciting game. I was talking to my dad when I got home because I was out last night, so I missed the beginning of the game. So I missed Canada's first goal.
Yeah.
And I was able to make it home right before Brady Tkachuk scored that goal to tie it towards the end of the first period. And my dad was he's like, this game is just a shootout. Literally, it's just one moment after another. Every single person was just taking a big shot. And so, like you said, it was a high energy, high impact type of game.
I don't think there's another sport where you can get where it's just so thrilling when it gets going like this, Football is fun. It's my favorite sport. I like baseball. I like basketball. But when you get to a must-win game in hockey, and the way you are on the edge of your seat, there is nothing else like it. It's like one of my favorite tweets is from John Boy. He said, "Why watch overtime playoff hockey when you can simply snort cocaine and ride a motorcycle out of a helicopter?" That's what it feels. I've never done that. That's what it feels like. I don't have to because I can watch playoff hockey.
I mean, there's just something about the sudden death aspect of it that really does, your heart rate is just going higher and higher and higher. So, it does have that feeling of just high energy, adrenaline out the roof. So,
I have to say, I hope this happens for other people, not just me, that this is re-energize my love for hockey because I, being a Sabres fan, have fallen out of love. There's been nothing to cheer for. There's not been a thrilling game like this for me in a long time because they have one of the longest, I know definitely in hockey, the longest playoff drought.
Yeah.
I think the Jets might have them beat in all of the major sports right now, but I haven't had anything to cheer for, but I'm going to have to pick, and they're not going to make it this year, but I'm going to have to pick another team to start cheering for this year, and I hope other people will experience this will parlay into further hockey love because there's a whole half of a season and then the playoffs, which are even better, still to come.
I think that's absolutely true because I certainly, after getting into this Four Nations face-off, have really started actually paying closer attention to where the Blue Jackets are. They have a shot at some type of potential of making it. And so, it has energized me to be okay, let me start paying closer attention.
Yeah.
But I also will say, I think this really does, and I know we talked about this when the first Canada versus USA game happened, where it just refuels, reignites this rivalry between nations for hockey that is going to extend into the Olympics, and I can't wait.
Yeah. Now you just got to stay locked in on hockey for an entire year, and then by that point, you're just going to be locked in forever.
Well, I mean, for sure, but also just like I can't wait to get to that moment.
Yeah.
And I know the players can't. USA already said like this has just absolutely, motivated us to go out there and win next time. So, yeah.
Hey, speaking of hockey, the Blue Jackets, your team, have an outdoor game coming up in like a week.
I know.
And this band is going to be playing at the game. It's 21 Pilots.
Well, there's a new Angel Studios movie coming out this Easter, and I'm actually so excited for it, Hudson.
Yeah?
It is an animated film, and it's definitely more geared towards like families and kids, which I love. But it's called The King of Kings, and it's coming out in April. And I honestly cried watching the trailer.
You cried? I watched the trailer too, but what about it made you cry?
Okay, so here's the thing. I told this to Nene yesterday. I get so emotional when it comes to like reading scripture verses about Jesus.
Okay.
And like his sacrifice on the cross. Like
Yeah.
I was reading Hebrews 12 the other day, bawling my eyes out.
Okay.
Bawling my eyes out. I just can't not cry about it for whatever reason.
I mean, it's amazing.
It's an amazing thing and just makes me so grateful and emotional. I don't know. There's just something about it. But yeah, it made me cry. And I think part of the reason why it made me cry is because it's seeing the sacrifice that Jesus made through the eyes of a child. Because it's just basically what it is, to summarize for everyone that hasn't seen the trailer yet, but you can find it on YouTube or text us 8772-RADIO-U and we can send you the link. But basically, it's a dad telling his son the story of the King of Kings, because this little boy's like obsessed with King Arthur, obsessed with kings, and he's telling him a story, and he's like, no, you need to tell you the story of the King of Kings. And so,
let's be honest, the kid seems like a brat at first.
the kid does seem a little crazy at first, but you see the story of the gospel told, and the kid is kind of like there experiencing it,
right?
In Galilee and in Jerusalem. And he's seeing it, and it's like, it's beautiful, but also when he sees what the sacrifice was, like he's absolutely like, what is going on? Why is, this great king being killed? And so it's really cool to see, in my opinion, like the perspective of a child seeing the story of Jesus. I just thought that was really neat, and I think that's why it made me cry.
Yeah, I'm afraid you're going to cry now.
I mean, like I said, I can't not get emotional talking about it. It's an amazing story, and I love Easter, obviously, but yeah, I think this is a new film coming out that will be a great one for families to watch for sure.
Yeah, well, I'm excited too because they got me. Like the trailer's good, but then when they go, the first major religious, biblical animated film since The Prince of Egypt, I'm like, dang, The Prince of Egypt was good. So I'm excited because of that.
Did you see the cast, though?
And the cast, yeah.
That's what really surprised me.
Who all was in it? Uma Thurman. Kenneth Branagh.
Yep. Oscar Isaac.
Kingsley.
Yep.
Oscar Isaac, he was, I think he was a church kid growing up. He was in a Christian band.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you should look that up sometime.
I need to look that up.
It's a really good cast.
It's a great cast. I need to see if I can find the image of the cast that it had at the end. But
and it's based off of the Charles Dickens story. Yeah,
and it starts off in like England in Charles Dickens times and all of that. So it's great. But I'm excited to see this.
Yeah. It's gonna be, hey, we're getting close to the Easter season, and this is just gonna add one more thing of I don't even know. There's just one more thing to make it special.
Exactly. A great way to celebrate and also remember the importance of that season, which is not bunnies, surprise.
Uh-huh.
Not chocolate, surprise. Not Peeps.
Definitely
not Peeps milk.
Absolutely not Peeps.
It's all about Jesus, and we're happy about that. So if you want to learn more about Jesus, make sure to visit radiou.com/free-gift.
In the movie world, James Bond has a new owner. It's Amazon. Now, they bought MGM Studios, which was in charge of James Bond several years ago, of course. Mm-hmm. But they did not have Amazon didn't have complete creative control over James Bond. until now. That's what they've announced. Like they are completely everything that happens with James Bond now goes through Amazon. And so blame them or credit them with whatever we get going forward. They are, of course, this continues the search on for who will be the next James Bond, who will succeed Daniel Craig. Does this say too that so Barbara Broccoli's been like the producer, like the head of making James Bond stuff?
Yep.
For the longest time now, and she's stepping down as well.
She's stepping down, and that's what the kind of...
And Michael G. Wilson as well.
Yeah, they both have been involved for a long time, so that's kind of what the whole creative control thing was. They, I guess, had to pay them to step away from the project, from James Bond himself, so now they'll probably bring new people in to oversee James Bond and the creation of what looks to be a potential James Bond connected universe.
No. You're trolling me with that, right?
I am hoping that this is just speculation and not actually the truth.
Yeah, that has to be a joke.
I'm hoping so. But this article literally says that it will very quickly launch a James Bond connected universe that will include TV shows, spin-offs, and crossovers.
We don't need that.
Exactly.
Nobody wants that.
We talked about this yesterday with the Marvel Defenders. Nobody wants this stuff.
Well, and you don't have to look any further than Star Wars for what happens when you start trying to take a beloved property that part of what makes it special is the scarcity.
Yes.
A James Bond movie, it doesn't feel special if there's a Star Wars movie that comes out every year. It's not exciting anymore.
Yep.
But on top of having all these series that are on Disney Plus all the time, whatever, like it's too much to keep track of. The average person doesn't care. It's just too much and it's unnecessary.
Right.
And James Bond is the same way. We can have one movie every 4 years and then it's like an event. It's exciting.
Yep.
And that hopefully, and having those make more money because they're events should cancel out as a business. I hope putting out something every 6 months that's James Bond related, because that can get you a little bit of money every time.
Exactly. Yeah. This to me is like, I understand why companies have been doing this, but also don't understand it at the same time, because it's like, in doing this, in creating way too much content for a property, you are devaluing that IP.
Yeah.
You know, people suddenly don't care about it as much because there's just too much oversaturation.
Furthermore, what has Amazon taken control of or produced exactly that's like that good?
Right.
Can you tell me one actual thing?
That's kind of what I'm worried about. I mean, I think a lot of people like The Boys, which is an Amazon show, but that is obviously very different than James Bond. And so, I don't think there's anything that you can point to that's like, yes, this is, I know they also have that Reacher show, which is similar, and a lot of people liked that.
Some people like the Lord of the Rings thing.
Yeah, and there was also a show with John Krasinski that was like a Tom Clancy type show.
Jack Ryan, is that what that is?
That might be it. Yeah. So they've
but
done
still an entirely different level.
Right. They've done stuff, but not to the extent of what James Bond is. James Bond is a blockbuster property.
The money they poured into those things and the money that they have at their disposal, and you have to say like Amazon Prime Video, whatever, compared to the Netflixes of the world, even which don't always get it right. They have a lot of swings and misses, but they swing at a lot of things. Yeah. They have some hits too. But Amazon, I don't feel like has had anywhere near the hits as all these other places. And now they're taking complete control of James Bond.
Yeah. Let's just hope that they focus on casting a good James Bond first and creating a good James Bond film.
Yeah. How about let's get one good James Bond movie before we talk about a connected universe.
Yes, please.
Allie, I know you're a horror movie aficionado, but I think I found something that will scare even you. And that is this video of, they call it the Proto-Clone. It is a robot made by a company called Clone Robotics. They call it, first of all, just what they call it is wrong. A synthetic human. No. We are not making synthetic humans.
Nope.
Not in this, not on my planet. I refuse. But if you see this video, it is absolutely the most human-like robot you've ever seen. It literally looks like like a human body with a robot kind of head on it.
Yep.
Except that it's very gray.
It almost looks like it's been dipped in like white ash or something.
But I don't know why they made this video the way they did. It is this robot, the proto clone, they call it. It's like hanging, and they're showing off how like it moves so similarly to a human. It moves so similar to a human because they say its skeletal system contains all 206 bones of the human body, a small number of bone fusions. The joints are fully articulated with artificial ligaments and connective tissues. And furthermore, you can't see this, of course, but it basically has a heart. They call it the most sophisticated hydraulic powering system ever designed with a 500-watt electric pump as compact as the human heart, able to pump liquid at 40 SLPM, whatever that means, volumetric flow rate, and 100 PSI rating. Basically, they made a robot heart to put in there. It looks like a human hanging from a marionette thing and like struggling to get down in this video. And then they set it to like, the video could have been anything. They could have put any soundtrack to it, and they set it to like a low robot, like, and it's like, why are you doing this?
It's so creepy. And can we make this illegal? Can we please pass a law that says you cannot make a robot that looks like a human? I'm sorry. I know we live in America and we have a lot of freedom and all of this, but I hate this. I hate all of this.
I don't even know what the law specifically could say, but yes, this should be the Congress should do this immediately.
Exactly. This just worries me.
Clear your schedule. This is the first thing.
This synthetic robot absolutely needs to stop. Yeah, no, I just think it worries me not for right now, but for the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm not usually a doomsday type of person or like the robots are taking over, blah, blah, blah. But just the fact that when I was looking at this video and saw this robot and for a split second, my brain was confused and thought it was a real human, that should tell you enough that this should not be happening.
It's for them, they would call it progress. For me, I call it frightening and unnecessary.
Yeah.
They literally claim that someday their proto-clone will be almost indistinguishable from humans.
No, we don't want that.
That's bad. That's a bad thing.
We do not want that.
Nobody wants that.
No,
Please.
Stop.
It is crazy that with the technology we have at our disposal, we can make synthetic human robots. And yet things like this still happen where tourists in China feel duped, bamboozled, led astray by a tourist attraction that was supposed to be in Sichuan in China. It was supposed to be a winter wonderland, a place where they could celebrate the Lunar New Year, the little trip to log cabins blanketed in snow. But when the tourists arrived, what they found was log cabins literally blanketed. Like, they literally didn't have real snow. And so instead, they put like bed sheets on the roof, like with padding underneath, to try to simulate snow in the least convincing way of all time.
Yeah, if you look at the pictures that were advertising this lodge, I think you would probably, just at first glance, you'd probably be like, yep, there's snow.
Yeah.
But when you look closer, you're like, that snow's a little too perfect. What's wrong with it? You know, it's a little too weird looking. And then
obviously, like in this picture that I think is one of the ones they used to promote it, not one of the ones that people took after they got there and showed how much bad it was. It almost looks like a gingerbread house.
Right.
Like the way that the snow would look on a gingerbread house.
Yeah, that's what I mean by like it's a little too perfect, almost like it's, in a picture or something, like a painting or something. And so it's not quite right. I mean, snow sometimes does have that like perfection to it.
Yeah.
But this is like a little different. And once you actually see the pictures and videos of guests once they arrived, you see that it's blankets, it's cotton.
They literally use cotton fluff. All over the place.
It looks so silly. And so, they're picking up the cotton and they're showing people, showing the cameras, showing their phones. Like, this is not real snow.
It's honestly, like, it reminds me of that Willy Wonka thing that went so viral. Like, what was that, last year? That people were complaining about in the UK, where it was supposed to be a Willy Wonka experience right after the Willy Wonka movie came out.
Okay, yeah.
And it was like the actual image, the posters and stuff for that sold it very well in a way because they actually look good, except that they were generated by AI. And if you look closely, you'd be able to tell. But still, that's like, it's a poster. Maybe they used AI, but it still looks fun. And then they got there with their kids and it was a disaster. It was horrible. There was like Dark Willy Wonka. I don't even remember, but yeah, it was a nightmare. This is worse than that. This is actually worse because like you're thinking this winter wonderland and you get there and it's like dingy grass with cotton balls on it. And that's your vacation now.
Yeah, that would be pretty disappointing if you're expecting like, I don't know, like going to a ski lodge or something like that.
Yeah, you can't ski on that.
No, this is definitely giving me White Christmas vibes when they show up to Vermont and they're like, yeah, we don't have any snow right now. And they're like, what? Why are we here?
I know you can't control the weather, but this is worse than if you just got there and it wasn't snowy at all. Yeah. Like, let's put bed sheets on the roof.
Right. This is you're trying to fake people out to get them there, and it's like, this is not cool.
You thought you didn't have anything to look forward to. Valentine's Day behind us. It's February, like it's the worst month of the year, as we established yesterday.
No, we did not.
But there is, besides the interview at the Myriad, there's other things to look forward to as well. Like today is the first day of the new season of Fortnite. So you got that to look forward to. The Chapter 6, Season 2, that's being dubbed Lawless.
Oh.
Let me know your thoughts on some of these features that are coming to Fortnite today. First of all, you'll be able to break into bank vaults. I like games where I can commit crimes.
Okay.
Because then it keeps me from doing them in real life. Keeps me from being tempted.
Okay.
It's a positive outlet.
Interesting.
Some people in the past used to think it's the opposite. It's like it encourages, like, look how easy it is to rob a bank. You could do it in real life too. I'm the opposite. I'm like, this is enough for me. I actually struggle with the game enough. I don't need to do it in real life.
Okay.
It's probably be even harder. You can also rob armored cars. Train robberies. I've always wanted to do that. In real life, I've always wanted to ride a horse like an outlaw.
You Jesse James over here?
Yeah. That would be a lot of fun. Also, seemingly unrelated, is this a reference to something, Allie? There's a giant pickle that raps that's been added into the game.
I don't know if it's a reference to anything, but I like that the name, the pickle's named Big Dill.
Oh.
Which, if you know, for our RadioU like fusion and hip hop artists, we do have a rapper named No Big Deal.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a tie-in.
Yeah, it feels like it.
He should take advantage of that.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
they should have had him rap on that.
Yeah, definitely. I don't. It's fun. It's fun. Why does it need to
pickles are in, as we've talked about.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that Fortnite is adding pickles to the game.
They've already added Godzilla and Skibbity Toilet, so what? Rapping pickle is the logical next step.
Yeah, they're all about chasing those trends.
There's also a section of the map that will now literally be called Crime City, a.k.a. Chicago. High five! No, it's not that bad.
Let's make it a game.
Yeah. And also, this is a reference, like it's a tie-in with Cowboy Bebop. Do you know what Cowboy Bebop is?
I do.
You like Cowboy Bebop?
It's one of my favorite animes. Now, it has been made into a live-action Netflix show.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Which is probably why they did this.
Caring.
But the original anime is very, very good.
It says that on March 1st is when the Cowboy Bebop tie-in will begin, where you can get like outfits of Spike Spiegel and Faye Valentine and Bloop Blorpley and all of your favorite
just Spike and
Cowboy
Faye.
Bebop characters.
Yes, just Spike and Faye.
I cannot wait for that. But the rest of it sounds fun and interesting to me. And so that's, you know what? Odds are somewhere along my weekend, I will get into this.
You'll end up being lawless.
Yeah, finally. I can finally find out what it's like to rob a train.
Well, I know you don't care about the NBA, Hudson, but some big news did come out of it.
I don't care about the regular season.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Yeah. I should clarify. You don't care about what's going on right now.
Yeah.
But there was
on the court.
there was some big news that came out of San Antonio yesterday from the Spurs, which impacts definitely their season. And that was that Victor Wembanyama is being shut down for the season because of deep vein thrombosis in his right shoulder, which is essentially a blood clot.
Yeah, I got an alert on my phone that he was out for the season, and I'm thinking he was just at the All-Star game and he was like doing stuff there.
Yeah, he played
and getting disqualified from stuff.
Right, he got disqualified from the skills challenge, but he did play hard in the game itself.
Yeah, and so I'm like, he wasn't injured. What is going on? And then it says deep vein thrombosis, which is scary because I'm no doctor, but that's a blood clot, and if a blood clot happens in the wrong spot, you could just drop dead or whatever. So it's actually crazy that obviously great news that they caught it.
Right.
Because who knows, the blood clots, right, can shoot off and then re-clot somewhere else or whatever. So you just have no idea. So fortunate they were able to catch it. Very disappointing though, because it was the Spurs had a shot at the playoffs, and it would have been fun to see them go up against some of the playing games that I would watch.
Exactly.
In other words.
Yeah, they are not a great team in the Western Conference, which is probably the more competitive of the two conferences right now. And but they were still in
They're in the mix.
Yeah, they were close to making it into the play-in mix.
They just made a big trade to get De'Aaron Fox.
Right. And so they were trying, they were pushing, and that's not to say that they still won't, but this is a big blow to those chances for sure. I think they're about two spots out of number 10, which is the last play-in team.
You lose the defensive player who should be the defensive player of the year, and even though I haven't watched, I know that. And and that's not to say that he's not great offensively too. He's just one of the best. He's one of the best young players. He's just one of the best players.
Right. Here's his stats right now. Averaging 24.3 points per game, 11 rebounds, 3.7 assists, and a league-leading 3.8 blocks. Obviously, he's leading in blocks. He's 7'5". But yeah, this is a big blow to the Spurs, so that it really is awful for them. A main reason why he can't play is because with this blood clot, they have to take blood thinners, and then that obviously makes it so you cannot play in a contact sport.
Yeah. Now, I do know, though, that, and I don't know if I can think of any names off the top of my head, but particularly in hockey, I know that there's been players that have had similar situations, and sometimes where it's recurring, like a blood clot has popped up multiple times. And they still, even though it is scary, because again, a blood clot in the wrong spot can be very dangerous, but they're still able to play. Hopefully, eventually he'll be able to get back out there. It says the Spurs are optimistic that he'll be able to recover in time for next season. I don't mean this the wrong way, but what else are they supposed to say?
Right.
I'm not sure he's ever going to play again. You want them to be, everybody wants to be optimistic right now, and I'm sure, I'm optimistic too, but it's, I don't think just makes you nervous.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything to suggest that this would be some type of career-ending injury or something. But for sure, you need to be on the lookout for any type of blood clots in the future, because you don't want. He may have a proclivity for this type of thing, like you said. It could be reoccurring. So we're wishing the best for Wemby. Hopefully, he's able to get through this pretty quickly and then be back for next season.
For sure. Michael Bond. That might not be a name that's familiar to you, but he is the creator of Paddington Bear, a creator that has obviously spawned not just numerous books and other things, but of course, 3 now hit movies.
Yeah.
But he's now found himself at the center of something that certainly sounds like it's straight out of a movie and may possibly be made into one day. Michael Bond, the creator of Paddington, was recently hacked. Not just him, but I guess the agency that he represents him, which is literally called The Agency, which is part of why it sounds like this is straight out of a movie, because it commands respect. It's an amazing name, but also that just sounds like it's from a movie, doesn't it?
Sounds made up.
Yeah. The Agency itself was hacked by a group of what they believe are Russian hackers. It's called Reseda. It's a ransomware group. And so they've hacked this guy, and now they're demanding a ransom. That's how ransomware works. So, of course, the agency has had to contact the police and everything, get them involved. They're threatening to leak the hackers are threatening to leak sensitive information. Of course, what that is, they can't say, and we don't know.
Right.
But now that leads all of our minds to wander, doesn't it? What kind of sensitive information do they have on Paddington?
Right.
Couldn't be compromising photos, could it? Of Paddington without pants? It's the first thing I assumed.
The internet is definitely having a field day with this one because it's all, the speculation is all running rampant as far as what's in Paddington's past that they don't want out.
Does he have skeletons in the closet? Is he ironically a secret agent of some kind?
Oh.
And the agency is they named it the agency because that would be it's so on the nose that nobody would suspect.
He's actually the new James Bond.
Yes.
I mean, the creator's name is Michael Bond.
I know. It adds up.
It's coming together.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming together. I also heard some suggestions online, which I thought were funny, that was like, maybe something else is in the marmalade.
Yes.
There's a secret ingredient.
Yes. We just can't know, but something is afoot.
Yeah.
And it all could be brought down. It sounds like if the agency refuses to pay these hackers.
Right.
So what's going to happen now? It doesn't sound like they're quite interested in paying.
Well, I think I've learned this from TV shows, at least. TV shows that show negotiation. You never pay a criminal.
No.
It doesn't work out.
You can't trust them.
Yep.
You don't negotiate with them.
I mean,
what could they actually have that's so horrible?
Right. You can negotiate with them, but negotiate to buy time. Don't negotiate to actually try and make a deal, because most of the time, at least in TV shows, it doesn't work out. Yeah,
and if there's anything we can learn from TV shows, it's everything, and they should always be trusted. It's
100% accurate.
Do we know how much the hackers want? What are they demanding?
You know what? I don't know how much they want.
Because, honestly, if they're demanding an insane amount, what could this?
What do they have on hand
that could be worth enough to hack? If they are just hey, give us $5 or we'll put out this Paddington poster that's a rough draft or whatever.
Oh, okay.
I mean, honestly, just give them the $5 at that point. How much do they want and what do you think they have?
Yeah.
You have to know these things to be able to know what your next move is.
Maybe this is all fake.
To promote Paddington.
Maybe this is all to promote Paddington 3.
This is actually the plot of Paddington 3, and we don't know because we haven't seen it.
Right.
Radio U, where music is going. You're hanging with Hudson and Allie and our very special guest this morning in a rare situation for Allie and I. We are outnumbered by band members. We have the Myriad with us celebrating their brand new song, Something's in the Water, that just dropped this week. And we have 4 of you guys with us. Good morning, the Myriad.
Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, since there's so many of you, first of all, and we've talked to a couple of you before, but this is our first time meeting some of you. So why don't you all just go through and introduce yourselves and what you do in the band real quick?
I'm Jeremy. I'm the singer and guitar player.
Scott, drums.
I'm Jamie. I play guitar. I do a lot of the soundscape synth work too, and help with the production.
Norman Williams on bass and occasional yelling in the background.
And that's all the time we have. No, I'm just kidding. So first of all, guys, we talked to Scott and Jeremy, at least I have gotten to in the past, but Jamie, this is my first time meeting you. And you just told me a fact that we have to talk about, and that is you are a fellow Canadian of mine. Are you in Canada right now?
No, I'm in Texas now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Quite the opposite.
Yeah.
Reverse Canada.
Right. But just as many wild boars, I hear, as there are in Alberta. Jamie, I don't know. I don't even know where to start when I meet a fellow Canadian, but you said that you actually speak French. So are you from Quebec in Canada?
Yeah, so I grew up in Montreal. And when I was about 15, we moved to Ontario. And so I grew up bilingual. So I had English and French all growing up. And so then moved to Reading, where Jeremy and Scott are, when I was about 20, I think. And I met Jeremy very shortly after that. And we worked together for a really long time. He hired me at his studio, and we've been making music for quite some time together. He kind of became like the big brother I never had.
Nice. Yeah. And with, I'm assuming too, being Canadian, that this Four Nations face-off has probably been a trying time for you.
It's been wild, but I've been in the US for so long now that it's more home to me than Canada at this point. But Canada's been through the ringer, man, for sure.
Yeah, I'm when it comes to hockey, I'm very divided because I like to cheer for the US for a lot of things, but Canada and hockey, like, it just goes hand in hand. So it's been a tough, but it's been fun to watch either way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, one of the reasons, obviously, that we're here talking today is because you have this new song coming out, Something's in the Water. And we actually just had it on our Battle of the Buzz earlier this week. And you guys won. So congratulations.
Yes, congrats.
So I guess I'm going to give you all an opportunity to maybe give a thank you, a shout out to the fans that texted in to make sure you guys sealed that win.
Thanks so much for the support, guys. You guys really brought it home for us on that big win.
That was our Four Nations face-off this week already.
It was all my mom.
Something else I saw, you guys, is that you have recently announced you're going to be at Audio Feed Festival in Illinois. I think that goes on during the July 4th weekend, which is always a lot of fun. I was thinking, though, like, you guys went on hiatus for a long time. So, of course, that would probably mean taking a long break of shows. What's it like coming back more recently and getting back out on the road and playing shows? Like, how do you get those muscles back in shape to be able to do shows again?
It actually is a little nerve-wracking. I've talked to Scott about it so much, but it's like the last time that we played shows, I mean, we were on a bus touring the country, playing every single night, and now it's been over a decade. So
wow,
it is a little bit interesting. Like, is it like riding a bike? I don't know. I'll know when I get on the stage this summer, and if I fall over, then it's like not like riding a bike. I think it probably comes back pretty quick. It'll be fun to just share the music in person with people again. It's such a different experience than, putting your music out there and to be there and enjoy it together with the friends and fans and everything will be an amazing experience.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. And what I'm hearing too is Audio Feed Festival, if you get to see the myriad there, wide range of outcomes. They could just fall over. Hopefully not. But you don't know. You have no idea. It's going to be exciting.
Go.
Yeah, you gotta go. Okay, we got to talk.
Fall over on purpose. All part of the show.
Yeah. Right. So we have to talk more about Something's in the Water because it's brand new. You got the new music video for it too that we're adding to RadioU TV, so people can watch that on our Roku channel or RadioU.com or in the app. Give us the backstory on the song and the video for Something's in the Water.
So the song I wrote on November 13th after watching this congressional hearing on UAP phenomena, and I've always been fascinated with that stuff. But I just watching these congressional hearings, it's like you get a little bit more information, but anything that you really want to know, they say, I need to talk to you about that privately in a skiff. And so I was just kind of left as like, what's going on? And the song doesn't really give an opinion. It's more about the lies and the secrecy. And it begs the question, are we the fools believing a lie? Are we the ones that light up the sky, or could it be aliens in the night? So it just kind of spoke to me, that whole congressional hearing. I picked up my guitar and then I called the guys and said, I think we've got a song about like UFOs and aliens now.
That's awesome. And I think I speak for all of us when I say I think you need to watch more congressional hearings so that we can get more new music. But no, that's awesome. That's a cool story behind it. And I cannot wait to share the song. Some people have heard it in the Battle of the Buzz, but to share it here on Radio U and for people to see the video. And it's been really cool to get to talk to you guys again. And for the first time, Jamie and Norman, thank you so much, The Myriad, for joining us. Time Magazine just put out their Women of the Year issue. First of all, when does the Men of the Year issue come out? Hope I get included in that. But second of all, the Women of the Year issue is causing controversy, not for who is included in it, but for who isn't.
So who got snubbed?
Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin
Clark is not included in Time Magazine's Women of the Year issue, and it becomes particularly more egregious in some folks' eyes because who was included in it? Another WNBA star.
Oh, no.
And some are saying there's another WNBA star. Aja Wilson, who plays for, I believe, the Las Vegas Aces, right? Yes, she plays for Las Vegas Aces. She was included. Also, another female athlete, Jordan Childs, who won gold medal at the Olympics for the Team USA.
Yep.
They were both included, but no Caitlin Clark. Obviously, several other women included too. But no Caitlin Clark. How are you going to include Aja Wilson from the WNBA and not Caitlin Clark? Allie, what are your thoughts?
Well, here's the thing. Time Magazine did already name Caitlin Clark Athlete of the Year. Mm-hmm. And so it does feel a little bit like, does she need to be named like Female Athlete of the Year if she's already been named just overall Athlete of the Year? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, that's a bigger honor than just... Yeah, I mean, Female Athlete of the Year is a big honor too.
Yeah.
But I feel like just being named for every single sport there is in the world, you are overall the Athlete of the Year. That's the biggest honor you can get, I suppose. So that just feels like, you know, they already gave her that. There's no need to try and give her anything else.
Mm-hmm. I think they got it all wrong.
Okay.
I think they swapped it. I think they've got it backwards. I think Aja Wilson has a better case to be Athlete of the Year because she accomplished more as an athlete.
Okay.
She won a gold medal. She's won championships. She has better stats. She is a better player in the WNBA right now. Caitlin Clark is a better ambassador for the game. She's bringing eyeballs, so she's more of a Woman of the Year, and Aja Wilson's more of an Athlete of the Year. She's been a better athlete, like statistically, in the last year.
Yeah,
right
but
or wrong.
It's not always about stats, and you have said that multiple times, Hudson. So it's not always about the stats. Sometimes it is about your impact on the game, and I think it's obvious that Caitlin Clark has impacted the WNBA in a way that we've never seen before, but also sports in a way that we've never seen before, and that's why I think she is totally deserving of that Athlete of the Year award.
I think Athlete of the Year implies that it's your athletic ability. And Aja Wilson right now has better athletic ability. She just set the WNBA record for points and rebounds. And I definitely knew that before this exact moment.
Oh, yes, you did.
Yeah,
yes,
I totally
you definitely
knew that.
watched the WNBA.
I knew that. And so she's a better athlete. Caitlin Clark is a better woman in sports because she makes people watch more than Aja Wilson does. They bring different things to the table. And maybe one day Caitlin Clark will be a better athlete and win championships and set records that aren't viewership records and attendance records. But Aja Wilson's setting the bar on the court. And so she's a better athlete.
I mean, I think that the reason they gave Caitlin Clark that Athlete of the Year award is just because she transcends sport. She is just bigger than anything right now, really. She's one of the biggest athletes of all time right now. Like,
she's up there.
Yeah, so it just feels like she deserved that award because she's on par with some of the other people that have gotten that award that may not have had the best stats in their sport when they got it. People like, I don't know, LeBron James, you know. It's not all about just their individual stats. Sometimes it's about their impact on the game.
Well, what is the criteria?
I don't know. You're asking me?
Yeah.
I'm not Time. I can't tell you what the criteria is. I'm just saying, I think Aja Wilson is deserving of the award she got, and Caitlin Clark is deserving of the award she got.
I think First of all, why are we turning to Time Magazine for sports? Second of all, though, I think they swapped it. I think Aja Wilson is the athlete, Caitlin Clark is the woman. A Chicago nonprofit known as Urban Rivers which is dedicated to restoring Chicago's waterways and protecting the native wildlife, is asking that exact question. They have come across a beaver that has been caught on camera in the area that they've seen multiple times. It's their words that this beaver is remarkably rotund. It sounds like at first they thought maybe this beaver was pregnant, but they've caught it on camera enough times and it's big enough continually, like over a long enough amount of time that they don't think that's the case. And so one thing they want to do is give it a name.
I mean, I love that they want to name this. If you want to see the video, text in 8772 RadioU and we'll send it to you because they literally have it caught on like a trail cam. This beaver is huge. Huge.
Yeah.
I have never seen a beaver that big before. It reminds me of the rats from Princess Bride. You know?
Oh, no.
It's like those rats. So you're like, these are mutants. What the heck?
Yeah.
But yeah, some of the name suggestions that they've already gotten for this beaver, Lori Heavyfoot.
That's like the Chicago mayor, right?
Yes.
Lori Lightfoot.
Yep.
I get it.
Beeve Irvin.
Like Steve Irvin?
I guess.
That's a stretch.
Yeah. And my favorite, Sigourney Beaver.
That's clever. That is, I guess, clever.
Yeah.
I feel like the beaver is just like, please leave me alone. Like, do you want to be on camera being called remarkably rotund?
No.
Why are we doing this to this beaver?
This poor beaver.
You can say it in a roundabout way, but you're still calling it fat. Come on. Come on. Leave the beaver alone.
They are also saying that this beaver is very tough, though, because this is a female beaver. She hangs out at places that are filled with coyotes, and they can't figure out how she hasn't been eaten. So she's pretty tough.
Because she's so big.
She hangs in there.
Yeah. I don't know if she's like able to defend her. Like the coyotes are intimidated by her size.
Maybe.
Or I don't know, but you'd also think that would slow her down, make her an easier target. So.
Yeah. She's tough or lucky. We don't know which one.
Resilient. She's a hardy beaver.
Very.
Do you have a name for it, or are you just going with Sigourney Beaver?
I do like Sigourney Beaver. I don't know if I have a good name option that would be different.
Bucky?
Bucky,
That'd be like trademark infringement.
Yes, but we all know Bucky is very extreme with those that they don't want anybody using.
I think that would help clear up the confusion, though, because I know many others for the longest time thought Bucky was a squirrel. Or maybe like some other kind of rodent. So I think that would be a good way to just let everybody know that Bucky is a beaver.
Yeah.
Even though this is a girl, Bucky's a boy's name usually.
Yeah. Maybe Chomper.
Chomper? I don't know.
It chomps food and trees.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like we need to be more creative.
Yeah, that's not very creative.
Or Lori Heavyfoot could just be. It's like a little political jab. Yeah. It's lighthearted. It ties in with the she's rotund thing. So I think that could be fun. It's always happy Friday when we get new music.
Yeah.
And Allie, I don't know if you know about all the new music that's out today.
I don't, but I think I see a list of something you put together.
And it's a big, long list.
It does look like a long list.
Everybody should, first of all, keep their eyes on the music news page in the RadioU app, because you'll always get the scoop on new music from RadioU artists when you follow along there or at radiou.com. So here's what we have today. Matt Carney put out, it's like an extended version of his album, Drowning in Nostalgia. And so it's called Still Drowning in Nostalgia. So that's like the album that he put out last year, but then a bunch of bonus tracks.
And I do love that album, so I'm excited to hear the bonus songs.
Yeah, I like that too. Also, I was really excited about this. Switchfoot has a new song out. It's called Last Man Standing. It's a collaboration with Buddy Guy, who is one of the living legends of blues.
I mean, that's so awesome. I know that John Foreman is a big fan of blues.
Yeah.
So I just think that this collab is so cool.
Yeah, like I don't know that many like active blues singers, or whatever, but like Buddy Guy is he's one of the few I know because he's that famous, along with like B.B. King and whatever, like that kind of stratosphere. And Switchfoot collaborated with somehow, and the song is awesome. I've already listened to it like 3 times.
Oh my goodness, I need to listen to it.
Yeah, and then speaking of collaborations, Tadashi has not one but 2 new songs out today. He has a song out called "Where You Are." It's a collaboration with Montel Jordan. You know Montel Jordan's biggest song?
I don't.
This is how we do it.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I do know that song.
Tadashi collaborated with
That's
Montel
crazy.
Jordan. And he has a new song out called Safe to Be Me, which is a collaboration with Jordan Sparks.
Ah, Jordan.
What's her biggest song?
You know what? I don't know.
I can't think of it now. She has a few.
She was on like American Idol,
Yeah.
and I know she dated Jason Derulo for a while.
I cannot think of what her I can't place her big songs, but
Consulting the Google. She
Yeah.
also does have a really good song with For King and Country that I really do like.
she does. She does.
Let's see here. No Air. Oh my gosh, how did I forget
how am I supposed
that?
to breathe with no air?
Air.
And Tadashi collaborated with her.
Nice.
How do you pull Montel Jordan and Jordan Sparks in the same weekend?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's impressive. Tadashi's got connections, clearly.
Obviously, he does. So, and this actually came out a little earlier this week. Well, we talked to the Myriad today. Their new song, Something's in the Water, out this week. The new videos now on RadioU TV. And Memphis May Fire put out a new song this week called The Other Side.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting real close to the release of their new album, Shapeshifter. And oh yeah, we've added their other new song, which is a collaboration with Blindside called Overdose to the RadioU playlist. I am nervous about this deal. Celsius has just purchased, they've made a big acquisition. They've bought one of their competitors, Alani Nutrition, Alani Nu, as many people know it, in a $1.8 billion deal. Why am I nervous, Allie?
Why are you nervous?
Because I love Alani Nu. Not all of their flavors are great, but some of them are very good. 0 calories. They've got, this sounds like an ad for Alani Nu. It's not, I just like it. I like it, but what I really like is they have these protein drinks. They have one, I was just talking about this with somebody yesterday, that it's like a protein drink, and it's like Fruity Pebbles cereal milk in a protein drink.
Okay.
And I'm like, this would be great, especially if I ever worked out and needed protein.
If you ever worked
Because this is so good. But I hate Celsius. I've had Celsius. I do not like it.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to come in and start messing with the formula of Alani Nu, but like Alani Nu has been treating me so well by and large, and Celsius is not. And now Celsius is going to come in, and I'm afraid they're going to mess up Alani Nu for me.
Right. You don't want to mess it all up.
Yeah.
You don't want them to get involved with any of the ingredients, any of the recipes.
I just don't want to be interfered with.
Yeah.
The Alani Nu is the way I like it. Yes, some of their flavors suck, including the one that we had during our Christmas party.
That's all I can think about right now is how
really
bad it was.
It was like a candle. It was like drinking a bad candle.
To be fair, the Kroger worker who saw you buying it did warn you.
Maybe this is why Celsius bought Alani Nu, because like their stock probably went, like the price
plummeted.
Yeah, went down. And their stakeholders or whatever, like, we've got to do something to recoup our losses. Let's sell to Celsius. But yeah, I'm nervous. If you have an opinion on this, definitely let us know. 8772 RadioU. Celsius is very popular.
It's true. Celsius I have heard of because it is really big. Alani Nu I never heard of before until you had mentioned that we're trying one, and I was like, what's that?
Yeah.
You know. So I have heard of Celsius. I've never tried it before because those type of drinks are just not for me.
Yeah, you already have enough energy.
I have enough energy, and I just have never been into that stuff like Monster, Red Bull. I'm just not into it.
But you're hard to like. You could like it, but you also could not, because a lot of those are like 0 calorie. You like Diet Coke. You don't like Coke Zero.
Yeah.
But they have. So to me, I guess you might like it because it has the same aftertaste that Diet Coke does to me.
Okay. Well, I don't want an energy drink.
Get your popcorn ready. It's time for our Friday tradition here on RadioU, the weekend watch list, letting you know which movies are new that you could be watching in theaters and sometimes at home. This weekend, the big new release. Allie's very excited. I'm sure it's The Monkey.
Yeah.
Which is not about Davy Jones. It's a very old reference. The Monkey is a story about when twin brothers find a mysterious wind-up monkey. A series of outrageous deaths tear their family apart. 25 years later, the monkey begins a new killing spree, forcing the estranged siblings to confront the cursed toy. 80% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, boy.
Critics seem to like it. except for Peter Howell of the Toronto Star.
Why do you always find the negative ones about these horror movies?
He says, Osgood Perkins plays it all for the grim laughs. The monkey lacks any real sense of the consequences of human folly and the dangers of toying with fate.
That's so weird. What does that even mean?
I don't know. I guess he wants there to be maybe to learn a lesson, some kind of morality to this.
Yeah, he wants to add some type of it's a horror movie
about a toy monkey.
Yeah, the last thing you should expect is some type of moral lesson that you can take away from it.
Yeah. What else do we have this weekend? So The Monkey is now in theaters. Also in theaters this weekend, an entirely different movie, The Unbreakable Boy, starring Zachary Levi. When Scott and Teresa learn that their son Austin is autistic and has brittle bone disease, they initially worry about his future. However, with Scott's growing faith and Austin's incredible spirit, they become unbreakable as they find joy, gratitude, and courage in the midst of trying times.
I actually have seen a trailer for this and it looks really wholesome.
Yeah, I have too. Very sweet.
Yes.
Very sweet. 47% on Rotten Tomatoes. And according to Richard Krause of Richard Krause, The Unbreakable Boy feels like a series of platitudes cobbled together to garner maximum emotional impact as it winds its way to a feel-good, happy ending. That sounds like exactly what I expect.
Yeah, a lot of those movies do feel like that, but they can still be a good time.
Yeah, I think a lot of people probably watch The Unbreakable Boy, and it'll be a tearjerker.
Yeah, tearjerker, but at the end you'll feel good. I actually do know about this movie because when I went to see Hard Eyes, I went to a Marcus Theater, and they played a little introductory video before the trailer started talking about this movie, and they were interviewing Zachary Levi and Austin, the real Austin that the movie's based off of, because guess what? He works at a Marcus Theater.
Whoa. Believe it or not.
I was like, that's crazy.
I was thinking that a natural trailer for the Hard Eyes, leading into the Hard Eyes
right,
movie.
Exactly.
The Unbreakable Boy. Also out this weekend is a few series that people might be interested in. Robert De Niro, for the very first time in a TV series, playing a leading role in a TV series. It's called 0 Day. It's on Netflix. It's like a political thriller kind of thing.
Okay. 57%
on Rotten Tomatoes. Win or Lose, that's the very first ever Pixar animated series. The first 2 episodes of that are on Disney+. 89% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Nice.
Suits LA, they promoted that a lot. That starts this weekend on NBC.
So it's just a shoot off of the original Suits?
Yeah, I believe it probably, I've never watched the original Suits, but it probably has nothing to do with it except for the name. And they think that'll be enough to get people to watch.
Apparently.
But I could be wrong. It has a 43% on Rotten Tomatoes. Also, I think on NBC this weekend is something called Grosse Pointe something something. And also The Americas, which I actually am interested in. That's like a nature documentary kind of thing.
Oh.
Narrated by Tom Hanks.
Ooh.
And so it actually looks kind of fun.
And it's like about American wildlife?
Yes.
Oh, I love that.
And I think that should be on Peacock.
Okay.
So I still have a Peacock subscription for a little bit. I might make the most of that.
Yeah.
That's what's out this weekend. That's most of your new movies and shows that you could partake in. Let us know what you watch, of course, at 8772 Radio U. That is your weekend watch list, and we'll see you at the movies. Thanks for listening to The Hudson Show. Please don't forget to rate and review the podcast.